Mickey Mouse is public domain now, but I don't care because the song Mousecatool still isn't properly on Spotify. Let me break this down for you. After years of tampering with public domain laws, Disney is finally out of strings to pull, so the original Mickey Mouse is now public domain. Disney are notoriously litigious when it comes to their intellectual property, and now the character most identified with them belongs to everyone, sort of. The version of Mickey in the public domain is the classic Mickey Mouse design as he appears in 1928 Steamboat Willie, and also Plain Crazy. He doesn't have the iconic white minstrel show gloves yet, and in Plain Crazy, he's a weird-looking, morally bankrupt, shoeless hoodlum. It's a far cry from Steamboat Willie, and that's why it's not brought up as much. The Disney Corporation isn't super proud of this one. Mickey goes full Dennis Reynolds and gets Minnie on a plane so she'll kiss him.
Because of the implication.
Because of the implication. But when she rejects him, he starts flying all crazy. And he kisses her anyway. So she jumps out of the plane and parachutes on her underwear, and Mickey crashes. Why do my videos always wind up in places like this? Also, editing this, I realized there's a third cartoon called Gallopin' Gaucho where Mickey's design changes midway through. He goes from being the weird-looking bad boy Mickey who can light fatties with his toes and chug a beer in one gulp, to the adorable, heroic corporate mascot we are all ambivalent towards today. There's even a moment where you can watch him transform from one to the other. It's freaky. It's like he redesigns himself. Anyway, the modern Mickey Mouse design with the black and white eyes and the peach-colored muzzle from Fantasia and Fun and Fancy Free. Still off limits, as are all works associated with him. This includes the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which is important because in early 2023, Chicago drill rapper Mellow Bucks would team up with fellow rappers Amari Blaze, Monita G, and Kashmir for a song called Boom, aka Mousecatool.
I got my Miska, Muska, Mouska, Tool.
A diss track aimed at Mello's rival, fellow Chicago rapper Blasian Doll. The hook of the song is pretty much taken word for word from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Miska, Muska, Mouska, Tool.
A reference I was too old to understand, but you know, Mousecatool, Mouseketeer, there's a guy in a Mickey Mouse costume in the video, whatever, I get it. And this was all fine at first because the song was mainly a hit in Chicago, but then it became a hit in the Midwest, it eventually gained national attention, and then Atlanta rapper Lotto hopped on a remix, and lo and behold, they had to change the words.
I got my blick eye, pull up, hop out, boom.
See, Lotto is signed to RCA, so everything had to be cleared before she did the feature. Instead of, I got my Miska, Muska, Mouska, Tool, the hook became, I got my blick out, pull up, hop out, boom. To avoid having Disney even sniff their way. And not just the remix, the original Mousecatool is still available on YouTube, but when it comes to Spotify, you get the new hook and the new hook only, and it's so much worse. Not only is blick out, pull up, hop out, boom a far more generic drill hook, Mousecatool was playful, it was charming. There's a stark contrast between talking about hopping out on someone and repurposing a childhood rhyme, though both are time-honored traditions in hip-hop. I realize that both hooks glamorize gun violence, but real talk, when it's Mousecatool, I believe it less, and that went a long way for me. Mousecatool is funny. There's a dude in a bootleg Mickey Mouse costume dancing in the video. There is absolutely no way to take the threat seriously, and I preferred that to a step-by-step breakdown of a homicide. But the story only gets sadder from there. After releasing Boom, aka Mousecatool, and 4800, which was maybe even better, Mellow Bucks and Amari Blaze aren't even friends anymore. They dissed each other, and it all erupted in a big fist fight on Halloween, and you just hate to see it. I don't know what to tell you. Some other stuff probably happened too. I'm not really interested in getting into all that. I just enjoyed their music. It's a sad state of affairs, man. I haven't lived in Chicago since 2021, but I was there in 2012 when drill first broke out. And while it's always been controversial, it did feel like a natural reaction to trap, which had gone mainstream. For a moment, it was nice to see some unity in a much maligned genre of hip-hop like drill music that has spread all over the world but originated in Chicago's South Side. It was nice to see 4 women rapping together and supporting each other, but ultimately, depressingly, they just wound up doing what everybody expects them to do. They did what drill rappers do. They beef with each other. Everything good gets taken away. Violently so. I'm just glad they're still alive. It's unfortunate that that's where the bar is for drill music, but that's where the bar is for drill music. But either way, I think everyone is tired of hearing stories in hip-hop that end with fewer people than they start with. It's like the loss of that Mickey Mouse Clubhouse reference signaled the end of the fun for this group. But to circle back, when I heard about Mickey Mouse going public domain, first I wondered about Mouse Tool. Well, that's not true. First I wondered about the redesign from the 2010s that Disney did of the classic Mickey Mouse. Like, it's the classic Mickey Mouse, which is now public domain, but it's a redesign. But then I realized I didn't really care, and my mind wandered over to Mouse Tool. We're still about 72 years out from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse being public domain as of 2024, which means most of us will be dead before we can stream Mouse Tool the way it was meant to be heard. Back in the day, it took 56 years. Disney lobbied to lengthen it to 75 years, then 95 years, but the mouse could only run for so long. The Mouse Tool, however, remains trapped for a lifetime. Happy New Year, everyone. Don't worry, I don't know what this was either. I was gonna do a year-end list, but then I realized I just wanted an excuse to talk about Mouse Tool, and Steamboat Willie gave me an opportunity to do that. Keep commenting and sharing and liking, and keep being the beautiful creatures I know you to be. Special thank you to the patrons. Big ol' thank you to Peter, you know who you are. Being a small channel makes it hard to take risks because I can't afford to lose an audience I barely have. Also, it's the beginning of the year, which is inarguably the worst part of the year. So if you want me to do some longer videos on some deeper subjects, consider helping me out on Patreon. I share my old art and videos there and stuff, and it's also becoming like a personal blog, and hey, it's a new year. It may be time to give the late great Risto Benji a rest. It may be time for a new song. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can do so at
I want you to bring me the cash. I said I want you to bring me the cash. I want you to bring me the cash. 1 time, 2 times for that ass.